the testament of Levi, made to his children at his death, concerning priesthood. The copy of Levi's words, namely which he spake to his children, concerning all the things which they should do, and which should happen unto them until the day of judgment. He was in health when he called they unto him, for he knew before when he should die. So when they were come together, he said unto them, I, Levi, was bred and born in Charan, and afterward came to my father into Sichem. I was at that time but young, about 20 years old, when I helped my brother Simeon to revenge our sister Dinah against Hamer. Now, as we were feeding our flocks in Abelmuel, the spirit of the understanding of the Lord came upon me, and I saw all men undermining their own ways, and how unrighteousness had built herself a fortress, and wickedness sat upon the throne thereof. And I was sorry for mankind, and besought the Lord to save them. Then there fell a sleep upon me, and I saw a very high mountain. It was the mountain of Aspis in Abelmuel. And behold, the heavens opened, and the angel of Jehovah said unto me, Levi, come hither. And I went from the first heaven to the second, and there saw the water hanging between the one and the other. And I saw the third heaven, much brighter than them both, for the height thereof was infinite. And I said to the angel, What meaneth this? And the angel answered me, Marvel not at these things, for thou shalt see 4 heavens yet brighter, and without comparison, when thou comest up to them. For thou shalt stand by the Lord and be his minister, and utter his secret unto men, and preach of the deliverer of Israel which is to come. By thee and by Judah the Lord will appear to men, to save all mankind in them. Thy life shall depend upon the Lord. By him shalt thou have thy fields, vineyards, fruit, gold, and silver. Therefore hearken as touching the 7 heavens. The lowest is most lowering, because it is nearest to all the unrighteousness of men. The second hath fire, snow, and ice, prepared by the Lord's appointment against the day of Jehovah's rightful judgment. In it are the spirits of vengeance for the punishing of the wicked. In the third are the powers of hosts, ordained against the day of judgment, to take vengeance upon the spirits of error and Belial. In the fourth above these are the saints, for in the higher places dwelleth great glory, in the holy of all holies above all holiness. In the next unto this are the angels that do serve in Jehovah's presence, and seek his favor in all the ignorances of the righteous. They offer to the Lord the sweet savor of a reasonable service, a sacrifice without blood. In the other that is under this are the angels that bring answers from the angels in Jehovah's presence. In that which is above it are the thrones and potentates, wherein is continual offering up of hymns unto Jehovah. Therefore, whensoever the Lord looketh upon us, all of us are moved. Yea, and even heaven, earth, and the bottomless deep are moved at the sight of his greatness. But the children of men, being witless, shall sin and provoke the highest unto wrath. Now therefore understand that the Lord will execute judgment upon the children of men, because that men will still continue in unbelief and unrighteousness, even when the same shall cleave asunder, the sun be darkened, the waters dried up, the fire quake, and all creatures be troubled at the fainting of the invisible spirit, and the spoiling of hell in the passion of the highest. Therefore shall they be condemned to punishment. The highest then hath heard thy prayer to separate thee from unrighteousness, and to make thee his son and servant, and minister in his presence, a lantern of knowledge to lighten Jacob thoroughly, and to be as a day sun among the children of Israel. And unto thee and thy seed shall the power of blessing be given, till Jehovah visit all nations in the bowels of the mercy of his Son forever. Nevertheless, thy sons shall lay their hands upon him to crucify him, and for this cause is wisdom and understanding given unto thee, to give thy children knowledge of him, because that if they bless him, they shall be blessed, and they that curse him shall perish in his sight. And the angel opened me the gates of heaven, and I saw the holy temple, and the highest sitting on the throne of glory. And he said unto me, Levi, I have given thee the blessings of the priesthood, till I come myself to dwell in the midst of Israel. Then the angel brought me down to the earth and gave me a shield and a sword, saying, "Execute vengeance in Shechem for Dinah, and I will be with thee, for God hath sent me." And at that time I slew the sons of Hamor, as it is written in the tables of heaven. And I said unto him, "Lord, I pray thee, tell me thy name, that I may call upon thee in the time of my trouble." And he answered, "I am an angel which excuseth Israel, that he might not be stricken forever, because all wicked spirits lie in wait for him." Afterward, being waked as it were out of sleep, I blessed the Most High, and the angel that excuseth the offspring of Israel, and all righteous men. And when I came to my father, I found an asp of brass, whereupon the hill took the name of Aspis, which is hard by Gebar, on the right side of Abila. I laid up these sayings in my heart, and I counseled my father and my brother Reuben to persuade the sons of Hamor to be circumcised, because I was zealously grieved for the abomination which they had wrought in Israel. For first of all, I killed Shechem, and then Simeon killed Hamor. And after this came our brethren, who smote the city with the edge of the sword. When my father heard of it, he was angry, because they had received circumcision and were killed afterward. And therefore he dealt otherwise with us in blessing, for we sinned in doing it against his will, and he fell sick the same day. But I knew that the Lord intended evil to the Shechemites, because they had purposed to have done the like unto Sarah, as they had done unto our sister Dinah. But God letted them, and they persecuted our father Abraham, as then a stranger, and carried away his cattle, and furthermore did beat Joblan very sore, who was born in his house. After the same manner they dealt with all other strangers, taking away their wives from them by force, and driving the men themselves out of their country, for which cause the wrath of the Lord came upon them in the end. And I said to my father, "Sir, be not offended, for God will bring the Canaanites to nothing before thee, and give their land unto thee, and unto thy Holy One after thee. For from henceforth Shechem shall be called the city of fools, because as men do scorn fools, so have we scorned them for their working of folly in Israel, in taking away our sister for to defile her." Then came we into Bethel, and there, when I had sacrificed 60 days together, I saw the thing again as I had seen before. And I saw 7 men in white raiment, saying unto me, "Up, put on the stole of priesthood, the crown of righteousness, the reason of understanding, the robe of truth, the breastplate of faith, the mitre of holiness, and the ephod of prophecy." And so every one of them, bringing something with him, did put them upon me, saying, "Be thou henceforth the Lord's priest, thou and thy seed forevermore." The first of them anointed me with holy oil, and gave me the scepter of judgment. The second washed me with clean water, and fed me with bread and wine, that is, to wit, with the most holy of holies, and clothed me with a glorious robe down to the ground. The third did put upon me a silken garment, like to an ephod. The fourth girded me with a girdle like to purple. The fifth gave unto me an olive bough, very full of fatness. The sixth did set the mitre of priesthood upon my head. The seventh filled my hands with incense, to the intent I should execute the office of a priest unto the Lord. And he said unto me, "Levi, unto 3 principal things is thy seed appointed of Jehovah, namely, to be a sign of the glorious Lord that is to come, and he that believeth shall be the first. The great lot shall not fall upon him. The second shall be in priesthood, and the third shall have a new name, because a king shall rise up in Judah, and renew my priesthood according to the figure of the Gentiles among all nations. But the coming of him is unutterable, as who shall be the prophet of the highest, born of our father Abraham? All the pleasant things of Israel shall be given unto thee, and to thy seed, and you shall eat all that is fair to see to, and thy seed shall distribute the Lord's table, and of them shall be high priests, judges, and scribes, for in their mouth shall the holy things be kept. When I woke, I perceived that this vision was like the other, and I laid it up in my heart, and showed it not unto any man living upon the earth. The first 2 days I and Judah went to our grandfather Isaac, and he blessed me according to all the sayings of the visions that I had seen. but he would not go with us unto Bethel. But when we came to Bethel, my father Jacob saw in a vision concerning me, that I should be their priest before the Lord. And he arose in the morning, and tithed all things to the Lord by me. Then came we to Hebron to dwell there, and by Isaac called me to expound the law of the Lord, according as Jehovah's angel had showed it to me, and he taught me the law of priesthood, sacrifices, burnt offerings, firstlings, free will offerings, offerings for health. Every day he taught me understanding, and called upon me continually before the Lord, saying, My son, give no ear to the spirit of fornication, for he will follow thee and defile the holy things by thy seed. Therefore take thee a wife in thy youth, such an one as hath not any blemish nor uncleanness, nor is of the kindred of the Alaphites or of the Gentiles. And before thou enter into the holiest, wash, and likewise ere thou sacrificest. And also when thou hast done, offer unto the Lord the fruits of the 12 trees that are evergreen, as my father Abraham taught me to do, and the fruit of all clean beasts, and of clean fowls offer thou in sacrifice. Likewise offer up thy firstborn of all things, and the first fruits of thy wine, and sprinkle thy sacrifices with salt. Now therefore, my sons, keep ye all the things that I command you. For whatsoever I have heard of my fathers, that have I told unto you. I am clear from all the wickedness and sin which you shall commit to the end of the world. Ye shall work wickedness against the Saviour of the world, and ye shall seduce Israel, stirring up much evil against him from the Lord, and dealing wickedly with him, so that Jerusalem shall not continue by reason of your naughtiness. The veil of the temple shall be rent in sunder to discover your foulness, and ye shall be scattered as prisoners amongst the heathen, and be scorned, cursed, and trodden under foot. Nevertheless, the house which the Lord shall choose shall be called Jerusalem, as the book of Enoch the righteous containeth. Therefore, when I was 28 years old, I took a wife whose name was Melchor, and she conceived and bare me a son, and called his name Gershon, because we were but strangers in our land, for Gershon signifieth banishment. Now I knew of him that he should not be of the chief degree. The second was Kath, who was born the 35th year. I saw a vision eastward, how all the congregation stood up aloft, and therefore I called his name Kath, which signifieth the beginning of greatness and learning. The third was Merari, who was born in the 50th year of my life. And because his mother was hardly delivered of him, she called him Merari, which is as much as to say, my bitterness. And in the 64th year of my life was my daughter Jochebed, born in Egypt, and so was I honorable among my brethren. Also my son Gershon took him a wife, which bare him Libni and Sichmi. The sons of Kath were Amram, Ishvar, Hebron, and Uziel, and the sons of Merari were Mahali and Mushi. In the 14th year of my life, Amram took unto wife my daughter Jochebed, because that he and she were born both on one day. I was 8 years old when I entered into the land of Canaan, and 18 years old when I entered into the office of priesthood. At 28 years old I took a wife, and at 40 years I entered into Egypt, and behold, ye be now my children's children in the 3rd generation. Joseph died in the 110th year, and now, my children, I warn you, fear Jehovah with all your heart, and walk plainly in all things according to his law. Moreover, bring up your children in learning, that they may have understanding by reading the law of Jehovah, without ceasing all their life long. For whosoever knoweth Jehovah's law shall be honored, and go wheresoever he will, he shall be no stranger. Also he shall have more friends than his forefathers had, and many shall be glad to serve him, and to hear the law at his mouth. My sons, deal rightfully upon earth, that you may find heaven, and sow good things in your minds, that you may find them in your life. For if ye sow evil things, ye shall find and reap all manner of cumbrance and trouble. Get ye wisdom in the fear of Jehovah, for if captivity come, and cities and countries be destroyed, gold and silver and all possessions perish, but none can take away the wise man's wisdom, save only the blindness of ungodliness and sin. For his wisdom shall become a shield to him among his enemies, and make a strange country to be as his own home, and cause him to find friendship in the midst of his foes. If he teach and do such things, he shall sit with kings, as did our brother Joseph. And truly, my children, I know by the writings of Enoch that in the end ye shall do wickedly, laying your hands most spitefully upon the Lord, and through you your brethren shall be confounded, and made a scorning stock to all nations. Howbeit our father Israel is clear from the wickedness of the high priest, which shall lay hands upon the Saviour of the world. The heaven above the earth is clean, and you be the light of the heaven, as the sun and the moon. O what shall all the heathen do, if you be overdarkened with wickedness, and bring cursedness upon your countryfolk, for whose sakes the light of the world is put into you, to enlighten all men withal? This light of the world shall you most wilfully steal, and teach commandments contrary to the righteousness of Jehovah. Ye shall purloin the Lord's offering, and filch away pieces of it. Before you do your sacrifices unto the Lord, ye shall steal away the choicest things, and eat them disdainfully with harlots, teaching commandments of covetousness. Ye shall defile married women, and enforce maidens in Jerusalem. You shall match yourselves with whores and harlots. You shall take the daughters of the heathen unto wife, purifying them with unrighteous purifying, and your mingling shall be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah. And ye shall be swoln with wickedness in the priesthood, insomuch that you shall most disdainfully and spitefully laugh the holy things to scorn, not only vaunting and boasting yourselves against men, but also being puffed and swollen up with pride against the commandments of Jehovah. For this cause shall the temple, which the Lord shall have chosen, be undoubtedly left desolate in uncleanness, and you yourselves become captives to all nations, and be loathed and abhorred among them, and receive endless shame and confusion through Jehovah's rightful judgment, and all that see you shall shun you. And were it not for our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there should not one of my seed be left upon earth. Furthermore, I know by the book of Enoch that ye shall go astray by the space of 60 weeks, and defile the priesthood, stain the sacrifices, destroy the law, despise the sayings of the prophets, and frowardly persecute righteous folk, hate the godly, abhor the sayings of faithful men, and call him heretic, that goeth about to renew the law by the power of the highest. And in the end ye shall kill him out of hand as you think, not knowing that he shall rise again. And so shall ye receive his innocent blood wilfully upon your own heads. For his sake shall your holy places be left desolate, which you shall have defiled, even by utter forswearing. And your dwelling shall not be clean, but you shall be accursed among the heathen. And despair shall vex you, till he visit you again, and mercifully receive you through faith and water. And forasmuch as ye have heard of the 60 weeks, hear ye also of the priesthood, for in every jubilee shall be priesthood. In the first jubilee, the first anointed into the priesthood shall be great, and talk to God as to his Father, and his priesthood shall be full of the fear of the Lord, and in the day of his gladness he shall rise up unto the salvation of the world. In the second jubilee, the anointed shall be conceived in the heaviness of the beloved sort, and his priesthood shall be honorable, and he shall be glorified as amongst all men. The third priest shall be taken up in sorrow, and the fourth shall be in grief, because the multitude of iniquities shall be laid upon him, and throughout all Israel every man shall hate his neighbor. The fifth shall be held fast in darkness, and likewise the sixth and the seventh. And in the seventh there shall be much abomination both before God and man, as I am not able to express, howbeit that the doers thereof shall not be known. For this cause shall they be in captivity and corruption, and their land and substance shall be destroyed, but in the 5th week they shall return into their desolate country, and renew the Lord's house. In the 7th week shall come idolatrous priests, covetous warriors, unrighteous scribes, and filthy abusers of men, children, and beasts. After that the Lord hath sent vengeance upon them in the priesthood. Then will Jehovah raise up a new priest, unto whom all the Lord's word shall be opened, and he shall execute true judgment upon earth many days, and his star shall arise in heaven. As a king shall he shed forth the light of knowledge in the open sunshine of the day, and he shall be magnified all over the world, and be received, and shine as the sun upon the earth, and drive away all darkness, and there shall be peace upon all the earth. In his days the heavens shall rejoice, the earth shall be glad, the clouds shall be merry, the knowledge of the Lord shall be poured out upon the earth as the waters of the seas, and the angels of glory that are in the Lord's presence shall rejoice in him. The heavens shall be opened, and out of the temple of glory shall sanctification come upon him with the Father's voice, as from Abraham the father of Isaac. And the glory of the highest shall be spread out upon him, and the spirit of understanding and sanctification shall rest upon him, whereof he shall give abundantly and mightily to his children in truth forevermore. And there shall none succeed him from generation to generation, world without end. In his priesthood all sin shall come to an end, and the unrighteous shall cease from their naughtiness. But the righteous shall rest in him, and he shall open the gates of paradise, and stay the threatening sword against Adam, and feed the lambs with the fruit of life, and the spirit of holiness shall be in them. He shall bind up Belial, and give his own children power to tread down hurtful spirits. And the Lord shall rejoice in his children, and accept them as his beloved forevermore. Then shall Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be glad, and then shall I and all saints rejoice. Now, my children, ye have heard all, therefore choose unto you either light or darkness, either the law of the Lord, or the works of Belial. And we answered our father, saying, We will walk before the Lord according to his law. And my father said, The Lord is witness, and his angels are witnesses, and I am a witness, and you yourselves are witnesses of the words of my mouth. And when we had answered, We will be witnesses, Levi rested with this charge given unto his children, and stretched out his feet, and was put to his fathers, when he had lived 137 years, and they laid him in a coffin, and buried him afterward in Hebron, beside Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The testament of Judah, made to his children at his death, concerning valiantness, covetousness, and fornication. The copy of all the sayings of Judah, which he spake unto his children at the time of his death. When they were come together before him, he said unto them, I was my father's fourth son, and my mother called me Judah, saying, I thank the Lord for that he hath given me a fourth son. I was swift of foot and painful in my youth, and obeyed my father in all things, and blessed my mother and my mother's sisters. And when I came unto man's estate, my father Jacob prayed over me, saying, Thou shalt be a king and prosperous in all things. Behold, Jehovah gave me grace in all my works, both abroad and at home. Upon a time I saw a hind, and ran after her, and caught her, and made good meat of her for my father. Also I outran the roes, and overtook all things that were in the fields, insomuch that I caught a wild mare, and tamed her. I plucked a kid out of the mouth of a bear, and taking him by the paw overthrew him, and rent asunder all wild beasts that turned upon me. As if I had been a dog, I encountered with a wild boar, and overrunning him, tear him in pieces. In Hebron a bastard lion leapt upon a dog, and I catching him by the tail flung him away by and by, and he burst asunder. In the borders of Gath a wild bull was feeding in the fields, and I took him by the horns, and swinged him about, and finally killed him. There came 2 kings of the Canaanites armed upon our flock, and much people with them, and I alone running unto the flock, stepped to King Sir, and striking up his legs, overthrew him, and so slew him. Also I killed another king named Thaphes, sitting on his horse, and so scattered all their people. I overtook King Achor, a giant on horseback, shooting forward and backward, and throwing a stone of 80 pound weight upon his horse, I overthrew him and killed him. And fighting 2 hours with Achor, at length I cleave his shield, and maimed his feet, and finally slew him. As I was pulling off his breastplate, behold, 8 of his friends assailed me, whereupon I filled my hands with stones, and slinging them at them with a sling, slew 4 of them, and put the other 4 to flight. Also our father Jacob slew the giant Beelisa, king of all the kings, who was mighty and huge, of the stature of 12 cubits. by reason whereof fear fell upon them, and they left their fighting against us. For this cause my father was careful of me when I was in battle with my brethren. He saw in a vision concerning me that the angel of strength followed me everywhere to the intent I should not be overcome. The second handful was a greater battle to us than that which we had at Shechem, insomuch that in fighting valiantly with my brethren I chased 1,000 men, and slew of them 200 persons and 4 of their kings, and following after them, scaled the walls of their city, and there slew 2 kings more. And so we delivered Hebron, and led them all away as prisoners. Then the next day we went to a strong walled and unapproachable city called Arekah, which threatened to kill us. Therefore I and Gad went to the east side of the city, and Reuben and Levi unto the west and south side. They that stood upon the wall, supposing there had been no more but Gad and I, did set fire upon us, while in the meantime my brothers that lay in stale brake out upon the other 2 sides, and scaling the walls with ladders entered the city ere our enemies wist it. And so we won it by the sword, and set fire upon the tower, and burnt it up with such as were fled into it. As we returned, the men of Thaphi lay in wait for our prey, and took it with our children. But we followed them to Thaphi, and slew them, and burned their city, spoiling all that was in it. And while I was at the waters of Gareba, we fell upon the men of Jobel that came against us in battle, and slew and spoiled both them, and also their accomplices, that came to their aid from Selon, so as we gave them no respite to return again upon us. The 5th day after, there came men from Machir to fetch away our prisoners, whom we met in battle, notwithstanding that they were a mighty host, and slew them before they could get up to the place that they come from. And when we came to their city, their women tumbled down stones upon us, from the top of the hill whereon their city stood. But I and Simeon, coasting to the backside of the town, got unto the higher places and destroyed the whole city. The next day it was told us that the cities of 2 kings came against us with a huge host. Therefore I and Dan, feigning ourselves to Amorians and fellows with them, went into their city, and taking the entrances in the dead time of the night, did set the gates wide open to our brethren that came after us, by means whereof we destroyed them and all that they had. And when we had sacked the city, we did cast down the 3 walls thereof. Then went we to Thamua, which was the refuge of all the kings for their wars. Where being angry for a hurt that I took, I charged upon those that stood above me, but they threw down stones out of slings upon me, and shot arrows at me, and had killed me, but that my brother Dan rescued me. Therefore we came running upon them in a rage, and put them all to flight. And they, passing by another way, went and sued humbly unto my father, who made covenant with them, so as we did them not any more harm, but received them into league with us, and delivered them all their prisoners. Then builded I Chama, and my father builded Rambahel. 20 years old was I when this war was made, and the Canaanites were afraid of me, and my brethren. I had much cattle, and my chief herdsman was Yain of Osselon, in whose company I saw Bursa king of Odelam, who made us a feast, and with much entreature give me his daughter Bethsuel to wife, which brought me forth Anan, and Silon, of which 3 God slew 2 childless. But Silon lived, of whom some of you be the children. My father and we made 18 years peace with his brother Esau and his children. When the 18 years were past after our coming out of Mesopotamia in the 40th year of my life, Esau our father's brother came upon us with a great strong host, and was slain by the bow of Jacob, and conveyed away dead unto Mount Seir. We also followed upon the children of Esau, but his city was very strong with high walls, and gates of iron and brass, so as we could not enter into it. Howbeit we did shut them up within it, and besieged it. Now when they showed not themselves abroad in 20 days together, I put an helmet upon my head, and in the sight of them all set up a ladder, and scaling the walls, slew 4 of their noblemen with a stone of the weight of 3 talents. The next day Reuben and Gad went and slew 70 others. Then they offered peace, and we, by our father's advice, received them into tribute. And they gave us 200 quarters of corn, 500 baits of oil, and 1,500 measures of wine, until we went down into Egypt. After this my son married Tamar of Mesopotamia, the daughter of Aram. Now was a very wicked imp, and doubted much of Tamar because she was not of the land of Canaan. Therefore the angel of the Lord slew him the third night after his marriage, when he had not yet accompanied with her, by reason of his mother's subtlety, and so died in his naughtiness, for she is loath that he should have had any children by her. When Anan was marriageable, I gave Tamar unto him, and he likewise of a spite, accompanied not with her, notwithstanding that he lived a year with her. And when I threatened him, then he companied with her, but yet by his mother's commandment he let his seed fall upon the ground, and so also he died in his wickedness. I minded to have given her unto Silon also, but my wife Beth-Su would not suffer me, for she spited Tamar because she was not of the daughters of Canaan, as herself was. Now I know the offspring of Canaan was mischievous, but yet did youthful fancy blind my heart. And as I beheld her pouring out wine, I was deceived with drunkenness, and fell in love with her. Upon a time while was away, she married Silon to a woman of Canaan, which her deed when I understood, I cursed her in the bitterness of my soul, and so she died in the wickedness of her sons. At 2 years after these things, as I went to shear my sheep, Tamar, decking herself like a bride, set her down at the gate of the city, for it was the custom of the Amorites, that their brides do set themselves forth at the gates of their cities, by the space of 7 days together, to be abused by fornication. I therefore, being drunken with the waters of Horek, knew her not by reason of wine, insomuch that her beauty together with the attire in decking of herself deceived me. And thereupon turning aside unto her, I said, Shall I come in unto thee? And she answered, What wilt thou give me? And I gave her my staff, and my girdle, and the crown of my kingdom. Upon my companying with her she conceived. Afterward, I not knowing myself to have been the doer thereof, would have put her to death for it. But she having kept my pledges in store, shamed me with them. And when I had heard my own words of her in secret, which I had spoken to her when I lay with her in my drunkenness, I could not put her to death, because it was of the Lord's doings, but I touched her not any more to my dying day. For when I had done this abomination in Israel, lest she might work wiles with me, I said I would fetch my pledges again of her. But when I inquired for her, the townsmen said there was no bride in the city, because she came from another place, and had sat there but a little while. And she deemed that no man knew of my going in unto her. Afterward we came into Egypt to Joseph because of the dearth. 46 years old was I when we came hither, and 13 years have I lived here. And now, my sons, hear me your father, in all things that I charge you withal, and keep you all my sayings in doing all manner of righteousness before the Lord, and in obeying the commandments of Jehovah, and walk not after your own lusts, nor after conceits of your own minds, in the pride of your hearts, neither glory in the works of the strength of your youth, because it is sinful in the sight of the Lord. For inasmuch as I gloried in my battles, and upbraided my brother Reuben with Bilhah my father's wife, because no face of any beautiful woman had yet deceived me, therefore the spirit of fondness and fornication fell upon me, so that I was overtaken both in Beth-Su, the Canaanite, and in Tamar, the wife of my own sons. And I said unto my father-in-law, I have made my father privy to the matter, and therefore I will take thy daughter to my wife. Hereupon he showed me an infinite mass of gold in his daughter's behalf, for he was a king, and decking her with gold and pearl, willed her to pour out wine to us at the supper. The beauty of the woman and the wine together dazzled mine eyes, and voluptuousness did so darken mine understanding, that I fell in love with her, and brake the commandment of Jehovah and of my fathers, and took her to wife. According to the intent of my heart, the Lord paid me home for it, for I had no joy of the children that I had by her. Now therefore, my children, be not drunken with wine, for wine turneth a man's understanding away from the truth, and kindleth in him the fire of lust, leading his eyes into error, insomuch as wine is a servant of the spirit of lechery, to further the feeding of the mind with voluptuousness, and so these twain bereave a man of all power. For if a man drink wine till be drunken, he traineth his mind unto the filthy thoughts of lechery, and kindleth the body to carnal copulation. And if desired occasion serve, sin is wrought without shame. Such a thing is wine, my sons, for a drunken man is ashamed of nothing. Behold, it made both me and Tamar do amiss. So as I blushed not at the multitude in the city, but went aside unto her in the sight of all men, and committing a great sin in discovering the unclean privities of my own sons. Through drinking wine I was not ashamed to break Jehovah's commandment, in taking a woman of Canaan to wife. Wherefore, my sons, he that drinketh wine had need of discretion, and the discretion that every man ought to use in drinking of wine is, that he be ashamed to overdrink himself. For if he pass that bound, he forgetteth his understanding, and cleaveth to the spirit of error, which causeth the drunken man to talk filthily, and to do wickedly, and not to be ashamed, but to boast of his lewdness, thinking it to be good. He that committeth whoredom is bereft of his liberty, and becometh a bondslave of lechery, and cannot get out of it again, after the same manner that I was made naked. For I gave over my staff, that is to say, the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is my power, and my crown, that is the glory of my kingdom. Howbeit, repenting these things, I forbear all wine and flesh unto mine old age, and was utterly unacquainted with all mirth. And the angel of Jehovah showed me that women should from time to time overmaster all men, as well kings as captives, and bereave great men of their glory. For the poverty of a poor man is a great offense to him than is the strength of a mighty man. Therefore, my children, keep measure in drinking, for there are in it 4 noisome spirits, that is to wit of concupiscence, of heartburning, of lechery and filthy gain. If ye drink wine merrily in the fear of the Lord with shamefacedness, ye shall live. But if ye drink without regard of shame and fear of Jehovah, then turneth it to drunkenness, and dishonesty stealeth in. And if ye drink none at all, then shall ye not sin, neither in slanderous words, nor in quarreling, nor in railing, nor in breach of Jehovah's commandments, neither shall ye perish before your time. For wine discloseth the secrets of Jehovah, and man unto strangers. Like as I bewrayed the secrets of Jehovah, and of my father Jacob to Bethsu the Canaanite, which Jehovah hath forbidden to be disclosed. Also wine is a cause of war and sedition. Moreover, I charge you, my sons, that you love not money, nor look upon the beauty of women. For money and womanly beauty made me to overshoot myself in Bethsu the Canaanite. And I am sure that these 2 things shall corrupt mine offspring, and mar the wise men of my lineage, and hurt the kingdom of Judah, which God hath given me for obeying my father. For I never repined at my father Jacob's commandments, but did whatsoever he willed me. And Abraham the father of my fathers blessed me to fight for Israel, and so did Isaac bless me likewise. And I know that the kingdom shall stand by me, but I have read in the books of Enoch the righteous, that ye shall work wickedness in the latter days. Therefore, my children, keep yourselves from lechery and covetousness, and give ear unto your father Judah. For those things withdraw men from Jehovah's law, and blind the understanding of their minds, and teach them pride, neither suffer they any man to show mercy to his neighbor. They bereave his soul of all good things, and hold it down in pains and sorrows. Also they disappoint him of his rest and sleep, and consume his flesh. Finally, they hinder God's sacrifices, neglect his blessings, disobey the speaking of the prophets, and are offended at the words of godliness. For these 2 passions are contrary to the commandments of Jehovah. He that serveth them cannot obey Jehovah, because they dazzle a men's minds, and walk abroad as well a nights as of days. My children, covetousness leadeth men to idolatry, for through doting upon money he calleth them gods which are not, and compelleth the infected party to grow more vilely out of kind. For money's sake I lost my children, and had not the penance of the first and the humbling of my soul, and had not the prayers of my father Jacob been, I had died as now without children. But the God of my fathers, being merciful and full of pity and compassion, knew that I sinned through ignorance. For the prince of error had blinded me, and I overshot myself as a fleshly man, and being corrupted with sin, knew not mine own infirmity, but thought myself to be invincible. Know ye therefore, my sons, that 2 spirits do wait upon a man, that is to wit, the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. And in the midst between them is set the spirit of understanding of the mind, whose property is to incline which way it listeth. The things that belong both to truth and untruth are written in the breast of man, and God knoweth every whit of it. And none of all men's works can be hidden at any time from him, because all the privities and secrets of men's hearts are written before the Lord, and the Spirit of truth beareth witness of all things, and accuseth all. And he that sinneth hath a burning in his heart, and cannot lift up his face to his judge. And now, my children, love ye Levi, that ye may abide, and exalt not yourselves above him, lest ye perish. The Lord hath given unto me the kingdom, and unto him the priesthood, and hath put the kingdom under the priesthood. Unto Levi is given the priesthood, and unto Judah the kingdom. And God hath put the kingdom under the priesthood. Unto me he hath given the things that are upon the earth, and unto him the things that are in heaven. As far as the heaven surmounteth the earth, so far doth the priesthood surmount the kingdom that is upon the earth. For the Lord hath chosen him above me to approach unto him, and to eat of his table, and to take the firstlings of the children of Israel, and thou shalt be as a sea to him. For like as in the sea both the righteous and unrighteous are in danger, and the one sort are caught prisoners, and the other sort are enriched, even so shall all kind of men be hazarded in thee, some sinking in misery, and other some floating in prosperity. For in thee shall reign great whales, which shall swallow up men as fishes, and bring free men's sons and daughters in bondage. They shall take away men's houses, lands, cattle, and money by force, and wrongfully they shall feed ravens and other greedy fowls with many folks' flesh. And they shall prosper and flourish in naughtiness, and be exalted through covetousness. And there shall be false prophets like storms, which shall persecute all righteous men. But the Lord shall set them together by the ears among themselves, and there shall be continual wars in Israel, and my kingdom shall be knit up strangers, till the Saviour of Israel come, even till the coming of the God of righteousness, that Jacob and all nations may rest in peace, and he shall maintain my kingdom peace forever. For the Lord hath sworn to me, that the kingdom of me and of my seed shall never fail, world without end. But I am very sorry, my children, for the filthiness and treachery and idolatry which ye shall work against the kingdom, by following witches and conjurers, by vowing your daughters to deceitful devils, by making them enchanters, charmers, and strumpets, and by intermeddling yourselves with the abominations of the heathen, for the which things the Lord shall bring upon you famine, pestilence, death, and sword, wrathful besiegement, and devouring dogs, reproach of friends and foes, loss and pain of eyes, slaughter of your children, ravishing of wives, spoil of your goods, the burning of your temple, the desolation of your country, and the captivity of yourselves among all nations, which shall geld some of you to make eunuchs for their wives. But if ye return to the Lord with hearty repentance and humility, and walk in all the commandments of Jehovah, he will visit you with mercy, and lovingly deliver you from the bondage of your enemies. After this shall rise among you a star out of Jacob, and a man shall spring out of my seed, which shall walk as the day sun of righteousness among the children of men, in peace and meekness and righteousness, and no sin shall be found in him. The heavens shall open upon him, to pour out the spirit of blessedness upon him from the Father, and he shall shed out the spirit of grace upon you, and you shall be his children in truth, walking in his first and last commandments. This is the offspring of the Most High God, and the wellspring of life to all flesh. Then shall the scepter of my kingdom shine bright, and out of your root shall spring the vessel of planting, in whom shall grow up the rod of righteousness unto the Gentiles, to judge and save all such as call upon him. After this shall Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob rise up again to life, and I and the princes, my brethren, shall be your scepter in Israel. Levi first, I next, Joseph the third, Benjamin the fourth, Simeon the fifth, Issachar the sixth, and so all the rest. And the Lord hath blessed us. Levi shall be the messenger of my presence, Simeon the power of my glory, Reuben heaven, Issachar the earth, Zebulun the sea, Joseph the mountains, Benjamin the tabernacle, Dan the lights, Naphtali the dainties, Gad the day sun, and Asa an olive tree. and there shall be one people of the Lord and one tongue, and there shall be no more the false spirit of Belial, because he shall be cast into endless fire. They that are buried in sorrow shall rise in joy, and they that were poor, for the Lord's sake, shall be made rich. They that suffered penury shall have plenty, and they that were weak shall be made strong. They that died for the Lord's sake shall wake up unto life and run in Jacob. Yea, they shall run skipping and leaping, and they shall fly as eagles for joy. But the ungodly shall be sorrowful, and the sinners shall mourn, and all people shall glorify the Lord forever. Therefore, my children, keep all the law of the Lord, for there is hope for all such as walk aright. 119 years old do I die in your sight. Let none of you bury me in costly clothes, nor rip my belly, for so will rulers do, but carry me back into Hebron with you. With these words Judah died, and his children, doing in all things as he commanded them, buried him with his fathers in Hebron. The testament of Issachar, made to his children at his death, concerning a single heart. The copy of Issachar's words. He, calling his children about him, said unto them, Ye children of Issachar, hear your father, and hearken to the words of the beloved of the Lord. I am Jacob's 5th son, in the reward of mandrake. For Reuben brought mandrakes out of the field, and Rachel meeting him, took then of him. Thereat Reuben wept, and at his noise my mother Leah came out. Now the mandrakes were sweet-scented apples, which the land of Aram bringeth forth in high countries, by the water valleys. And Rachel said, I will not give thee these apples, because they shall help me to children. Now there were 2 of these apples, and Leah said, Doth it not suffice thee that thou hast gotten away the husband of my virginity, but that thou wilt have this also? She answered, Let Jacob lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. Leah said unto her, Do not boast nor brag, for Jacob is mine, and I am the wife of his youth. And Rachel answered, How so? Was he not first-hand fasted unto me, and served he not our father 14 years for me? What shall I do to thee? For many are the wiles and policies of men, and guile goes forward upon earth. If it had been otherwise, thou shouldest not have seen Jacob in the face at this day. For thou art not his wife, but were guilefully put to him in my stead. My father deceived me, and conveying me away that night, suffered me not to see him, for had I been there, this had not come to pass. Wherefore take the one mandrake, and in lieu of the other, I grant thee him for one night. And Jacob knew Leah, who conceiving bare me, and called my name Issachar, because of the hire. Then an angel of the Lord appeared unto Jacob, and said that Rachel should bear but 2 sons, because she had forsaken the company of her husband, and chosen continency. And if my mother Leah had not given the 2 apples for his company, she should have borne 8 children, whereas by reason of that she bare but 6, Rachel 2, and because God visited her in the mandrakes. For he knew that she greatly desired to company with Jacob, for issue's sake, and not for lust of pleasure. For she laid up the mandrake, and delivered it unto Jacob the next day. And therefore Jehovah heard Rachel in the mandrakes, because that although she had a mind to them, yet she ate them not, but offered them to the priest of the Most High, which was in those days, and laid them up in the Lord's house. Therefore, my children, when I came unto man's state, I walked with an upright heart, and became bailiff of husbandry unto my fathers, and brought them the fruits of their lands in their due seasons. And my father blessed me when he saw how I walked plainly and simply. I was no busybody in my doings. I was not hurtful nor spiteful to my neighbor. I railed not upon any man, neither dispraised I the life of any that walked in singleness of mind. By reason hereof, when I was 30 years old, I took a wife, because labor had consumed my strength. I never knew the pleasures of a woman through wantonness, but my labor made me to sleep soundly, and my father did always rejoice in my simplicity. For whatever pains I took, first of all I offered all the first fruits, and the first engendered cattle unto the Lord by the priest, and then gave my father the rest, and the Lord doubled his benefits in my hands. Yea, and Jacob himself perceived well that Jehovah wrought it with my plain dealing. For unto fevery poor man, and to every man in adversity, gave I of the fruits of the earth with a single heart. And now, my children, hearken and walk in singleness of mind, for I know that the Lord is very well pleased with it. The single-hearted man coveteth not gold, undermineth not his neighbor, lusteth not after diversity of meats, desireth not shift of apparel, nor heighteneth himself long time, but only hath an eye to Jehovah's will, and the spirits of error can do nothing against him. For he cannot skill to entertain a fair woman, lest he should defile his own mind. Wrath overmastereth not his wit, envy melteth not his soul, neither doth his mind run covetously upon gain. For he leadeth an upright life, and beholdeth all things with a single eye, excluding all hurtfulness of worldly error, lest he should oversee any of the commandments of Jehovah. Therefore, my children, keep Jehovah's law, and hold fast plainness, walk on in innocency, and be not too inquisitive into Jehovah's secrets, or of your neighbor's doings. But love Jehovah and your neighbor, pity the poor and weak, bow down your back to husbandry, and labor in tilling of the earth, in all manner of husbandry, offering presents to the Lord with thanksgiving, who blessed the earth with increase, and a new spring of fruits, as he blessed all holy men from Abel, to this day. For there is none other portion given thee, than of the fatness of the earth, whose fruits come by painstaking. For our father Jacob blessed me with the benefits of the earth, and the firstlings of fruits. Levi and Judah are glorified of the Lord among the children of Jacob. For Jehovah hath planted himself in them, giving to the one the priesthood, and to the other the kingdom. Therefore obey ye them, and walk plainly as our father Jacob did. For unto Gad it is given to destroy the temptations of Israel. My children, I know that in the last days your children shall forsake plainness and cleave to covetousness. Let go in innocency and follow lewdness. Leave Jehovah's commandments, and stick unto Belial. Give over husbandry and Gad after wicked devices. And therefore shall they be scattered amongst the heathen, and become bondslaves to their enemies. Wherefore warn your children of it, that if they sin, they may return quickly to the Lord, for he is merciful, and will deliver them, and bring them home again into their own land. I am now 122 years old, and I know not any deadly sin upon me. I have not known any woman but my wife, neither have I committed whoredom in the lust of my eyes. I have not drunk wine unto drunkenness, neither have I coveted any pleasant things of my neighbors. There hath been no guile in my heart, neither hath there any lying gone out of my lips. I have been sorry with every man that was in heaviness, and given my bread to the poor. I have not eaten my meat alone, nor removed the bounds and buttles of lands. I have been pitiful in the days of my life, dealt truly in all cases. I have loved the Lord with all my strength, and all men as my own children. My sons, if you also do the like, all the spirits of Belial will fly from you, and nothing that mischievous men can do against you shall have power over you. You shall bring all wild beasts into subjection to you, because ye have the Lord of heaven with you, if ye walk with him in singleness of heart. And he willed them to carry his body into Hebron, and to bury him there in the cave with his fathers. Thus he stretched out his feet, and died in a good age, having all his limbs strong and sound, and slept the sleep of all the world.